Thank God it's Thursday. What's up, 10 Hut? I know, Friday. No, Thursday.
Thursday,
Thursday.
Thursday, Friday Eve, Friday Eve. You can say
Yeah,
that.
Friday Eve, right? Hey, what's up, 10 Hut? Hey, it is good to get so much love from you guys because you guys been nothing but sending us DM and subscribing to our channel. So I appreciate that. It is the 10 Hut show with a side of whiskey.
Cheers.
And today, whoa. My whiskey's going a little crazy here. But today we have a great guest, awesome nonprofit. You know, this is something that will actually introduce us to the 10 Hut team. And I'm super excited to really learn more about the Lido Paddle Project. You know, as soon as I told my wife that, hey, this has something to do with paddleboarding, she was like, I'm on it. I want to know more, you know. So I'm super excited. So I'm going to actually pass it to Will, and it's all yours, man.
Yeah. So just bringing this up. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month. So we are going to be focusing this month on bringing up topics like what we're going to talk about. And Lido Paddle Project is doing an amazing job at trying to heal veterans in a spiritual way. And we've talked about it in different shows, where we talk about alignment. But I'm going to pass it over to Michelle and Evelina to talk about what they do at Lido Paddle Project. Throw the names up there.
You start.
Hello, my name is Michelle Highberg. I'm so happy to be on your show. Thank you both for having us. We're honored to be here with you and to serve those who have chosen so selflessly to protect us. We are so honored to be part of this beautiful project where the focus is on mental wellness. Mm-hmm. It's about having peace, having community, being together. We've all had a very interesting year. There's been a lot of isolation, and we know that together we can heal. And so we're honored to offer stand-up paddle, kayaking, and other therapies complimentary for veterans and their families, and also first responders who are interested to come join us on the water for some recreation, some play, and some mindfulness. Yeah. Evelina so awesome. Is our wonderful Chief Marketing Officer and lead therapist. Would you like to share a little more?
Yes. So I feel the time has come that we ourselves step into we all of us move into stepping into actually healing ourselves and connecting with each other and giving each other what's needed. So I'm so excited to be part of this project because first of all, it's connected with nature, being in nature, being close to water. What's more peaceful, what's more powerful than being in nature and letting nature heal us, letting nature bring the internal peacefulness. But also, what we love to offer is different healing modalities through natural sounds, crystal balls, meditation, mindfulness, other healing, aromatherapy. We have massage. We have all kinds of therapists interested in being part of this project. Right. And my passion, my vision is first of all, through social media, to have constantly uplifting messages. So people know every day I can tune in and I can be inspired. I can connect back. I can be pointed back to the goodness of life instead of the stress and the fear of life. Because everything right now is fear and worry and what's going to go wrong. And so we want to give the safety net, this safety field for veterans and first responders to come and every day feel inspired. And then once a week, come for meditation, come being in the water, use the body. Because what happens is when we use the body to paddle, to observe nature, we stop thinking, we stop worrying, we stop replaying inside the mind what's wrong with the world and also replaying the algorithms that usually create anxieties.
Yeah.
So the more we do these kind of things, the more we step into more joy and connection. It's really the connection that is going to also make a big difference for us.
Yeah.
And to echo what Evelina is talking about, we right now are building a family.
Yes.
We realize that a lot of our protectors have faced all types of challenges, and some of them even stemming from early childhood, that made them choose to run towards danger instead of away from it.
Yeah.
And so in a lot of ways, we're rebuilding the nuclear family for some folks. And we're feeling already with the few sessions that we've done, people are reaching out to us. They want more. I, for one, had never paddled in my life. I was offered a role to help fundraise, which turned into a much grander role and quite a joy, out of my comfort zone. Because when we go out of our comfort zone, we know that's the only place we grow.
Yeah.
And on this journey, I learned to stand up paddle. And I never before in my life had felt this type of peace, to a point where if I didn't do it for 1 week, I would long for it again, and I would go back and I would go paddle. And with that, we decided we're going to have a level that we call play. And you just go out and play, and you don't have to be with us. You can go alone. You can just always have a paddleboard. You can always have a kayak, and you can go play. You can bring your family. You can bring your friends. Not everyone gets to be with their family because they're so busy. This is a time where you just go. We were so lucky to meet Mitchell last Friday and his lovely 2-year-old daughter, Aurora. And he actually was a first responder. Now he's in the Coast Guard, and he has very little spare time with Aurora. And they were just paddling along. She was laying on the board, and the joy that they were having together in this visceral experience, it melted our hearts, and we were very touched by it. But we realized people wanted more than just play. So we decided to make a second level, which we call deeper. So deeper means you're choosing to paddle or kayak, but you want to take it a little further. You want to enjoy some mindfulness. So now we've decided to offer every Friday one of our deeper sessions where you can paddle or kayak. Every other Friday. You can paddle or kayak, and then that is followed up with meditation or yoga or ecstatic dance. We haven't done yet, but we love the thought of dance. We love, as Evelina was saying earlier, and I've seen you say this, all of our problems are between here and here. They're all in our mind. And once you start, because I experienced this myself recently, once you get stuck on a negative thought, it accelerates and it swirls and it gets bigger. And then you start making assumptions about things that aren't even related to it. And then it keeps getting bigger and gaining momentum. We want to pull you out of that and do just the opposite. We want you to create the momentum. We want you to take back your life. And you can do so by that action of paddling.
And that action, actually, I had an epiphany right now.
Yes.
Science and also the sacred scriptures, even in the Bible, but scientists, big time, they prove that when we balance the left and the right hemisphere of the brain, we feel good, we feel balanced. Because if we're a little bit here, we are too much in the emotional state. If we're a little bit to the right, we're too much into the contracted mode, the logical mind. But when we're in the center, the bliss state, what does it say in the Bible? When the two becomes one, only then you can enter the kingdom. Ta-da-da!
That's beautiful.
I just realized that, because also the paddle, what does it do? You balance two sides. Because the hands actually help with the balancing.
I want to share my experience, because I was able to get out there last week with you and get out there on the water for a little while. I want veterans to understand that there's no pressure to do anything, really. Like, it's either you can paddle, or for me, like, I have a bad back, so for me to be standing or kneeling like that with my bad knees, it's very difficult. So I decided to kayak. and just go down with the stream and, you know, feel the water, feel the air, you know, see the wildlife out there. It's really beautiful in the Back Bay.
Yeah.
And, you know, talk with some first responders that were there. And I spoke with, I'm sorry, I forgot her name.
Deborah, the co-founder.
Deborah. Yes, Deborah, sorry. And, you know, just relax, just be on the water and relax. Really, it was a very relaxing and, like you said, balancing,
peaceful.
And peaceful.
And I fell asleep while waiting for you on the beach. So you can also, if you don't want
You don't have to go.
if you want to be by the water, stay with me. We're gonna do something. I played the flute by the beach. Then I fell asleep by the time you guys came back. So somebody can sleep with me.
And there's something where there's one we haven't brought into this discussion yet. And I think this word is at the basis of all of our joys, and that's gratitude. And so when we are in gratitude, we cannot be in any other state.
Yeah.
When we are looking around, when we are in that Back Bay, which is why we've decided to do it twice a month there, when we look at the cliffs and the sun is on us and the water and the fish are jumping and there's this little section with birds. I had birds swirling around my head.
Yeah.
I felt the wind of their wings on me.
Yeah.
And I felt I was one with these forces of nature. And it's a complete immersion into something that is not this. It's not Zoom. It's not technology. We've all been on our phones too much. It's a chance to turn off your phone, to look at where you are, look at how we all began. We began in nature, and we're in nature, and we're so grateful to be together as well. Yeah.
Yes.
And last Friday, Evelina decided, let's always have lunch after. Let's be together a little bit more.
Yes.
Let's keep that family thing going. So from now on, we're going to end by 12:30. We're very respectful for folks' time. But anyone who wants to stay a little longer, we're going to bring in lunch.
That's
and
awesome.
At least a light lunch. And if people want to bring things or do a potluck or bring desserts, let's be a family. Yeah. Let's recover from all this isolation. And let's create community again. Yes. And I didn't even start about the well shells. You want to talk about the well shells?
We'll talk about them in here in a second.
Let me add something. So one of the things for veterans that are watching this or either watching now or watching later, for me, when I go to the beach, is like really relaxing. Like, I guess the frequency changes, right? I'm a kinesthetic person, so that means that I learn by doing things and just move my hands a lot, right? And so when I'm by the ocean, by the waves, it's like really soothes me and really calms me down. My anxiety goes away and everything like that at the moment, right? So I think I really am really happy that I'm actually, connecting with you guys, because from my journey started with mindfulness, NLP, and I've been through those modalities, and it really have changed my life a lot. And it's kind of hard, and I know for some veterans, it's kind of hard to understand like how this works. But you have to go through and experience it. Just going to the beach itself, or just going for a small little hike at the mountains, right? It's relaxing, and just I'm pretty sure no one really likes to be in the middle of the freeway and wait, just trying to get to work. It's frustrating, it's exhausting. But and I could say for myself, has been I use these type of modalities to help me cope with my anxiety, cope with my with my tremors and everything that I have. And it's really good that you guys are doing this, because water for some reason really helps. I mean, we're made out of water too as well, right? So it help us kind of get in sync and help us get aligned to what we want, because it's true what you say. Like, well, for me, paddleboarding, I'm a big guy trying to get on a paddle. I mean, I'm like trying to keep my balance, but it keeps me away from keeps me not thinking about issues or challenges or troubles, right? Just keep me focused on what I'm doing at the moment. But yeah, it's good. So just kind of wanted to share that with you guys.
With I want to bring something up. I want to talk about the big con, or the bad thought process of veterans, because a lot of veterans find it that they're trying to go through the more traditional way. And last time we talked, together on Friday, you brought up some good points about this, because what happens is that we go into these group therapies for PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, or we go into talk to a psychologist, and all they do is, well, I'm listening, but are they really listening, or is there what's really going on, right? Or so for me, the group therapy did not work, and I tried it several times, and it's because what I always say this: what affects me, the person right next to me, maybe didn't feel the same way that I did. So me and one of my battle buddies were probably together at one situation, and that person didn't feel anything, and I did, or vice versa. I didn't feel anything, and they did. So when you get into these group therapies, you start losing that.
Hold on, dude, I went to an anger management class, and I came out angry all the time.
Exactly. And that's what would happen every time that I would go into therapy sessions. I'm like, oh man, this is like it's like a B session,
I can relate to this, because I've had friends who've had challenges with alcohol, for instance, and they would go to Alcoholics Anonymous, which has a 50-50 success rate. Lose one person. It doesn't really it has a 0% success rate. So what you're talking about really is a law. It's law of attraction. And while you're there talking about it, you're making it bigger, and you're keeping it alive, and you're keeping it alive, and you keep talking about it, and it gets bigger, and it gets bigger, and it gets bigger. Solid. And it's your past.
Yeah.
You were there, and it was horrific, and you know that. But it's only through a new experience. Experiential learning is what you keep. You don't remember what you read necessarily. You remember what you experience. So when you have different elements going on, you're learning to paddle. You're right. You're a big guy. If you lean one way more than the other, what happens? You're in the water. If you're not focused on your balance and keeping your feet straight, ta-da, you're in the water. And that'll wake you up, and that'll make you laugh too. And that's fun. But it truly is a visceral experience, and you have to go through this to fully remove yourself, to recreate a new memory. Because you're haunted by another memory, and then people want you to talk about it and talk about it. And there it is again. Whereas you could be talking about what happened to you, and this is exactly why we created the well shells, because people had these worry rocks, and we looked at each other. Why did they call them worry rocks?
All right.
They're popular.
Here's the well shells, just so you know.
Let's rub our worry rocks and worry.
Let's worry some more.
Let's worry some more. Oh, where's
here's
the rock? Can we worry?
Here's the well shell. I got the well shell.
There's the,
we can talk about the well shell.
Look at that.
You have your well shell.
I have my well shell.
And look, we gathered some shells on the beach, having fun.
There's the inside.
Yes.
And I want you to talk about, why did you give me a whale shell and not a worry rock? So tell us about the whale shells.
Because we want you to look at something that makes you happy. And then you remember the happy times when you were with us, together, hugged in the water, did meditation, felt, smiled at each other, really connected from the heart. We didn't talk about,
heart
what happened in the past.
No.
I didn't talk. We all have words.
Now.
We didn't focus on the words.
Why would we?
You know, there is a saying.
Happiness.
That's just absolutely silly to focus on any past.
There's a saying that words drives behavior. So definitely makes sense.
So one thing you told me to do with this whale shell, and at first I was like, well, this is kind of, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I found it kind of silly, but I'm a veteran, and this is how, and a man, and, a lot of times what happens is that we let this macho syndrome get to us, but something you said that really hit me, And when it comes to talking about spirituality and finding your balance, a lot of males find it difficult to say, why would I go do that? I'm too much of a man to do that, but one thing that you said is to feel the inside of a shell and feel the textures, the different grains that are in there, right? The smoothness. And it's very calming. And surprisingly, I was like, this is actually calming, which was very, very interesting to me.
Yes.
And the other thing,
I need a show.
we chose mussel shells.
Yes.
Because mussel shells are protectors. They were protecting life, just like you were protecting our lives. We didn't even know you, and you were protecting our lives. And we are so grateful for that. You have no idea. So these mussel shells were gathered as protectors. And then we also noticed every single one is different. All of you are different. Yeah. Everyone is different. But all of you can relate to these shells. And you're also, we all have a smooth inside if we want one, right? We can all have a peaceful mind if we choose to focus on peace. We get what we focus on, end of story. And if you feel yourself going down and you've got that shell in your pocket and you say, I'm going to touch
all
this
those colors, because we also painted with so much love and joy.
So much love. This is about love. This is about self-love. So we painted those shells with so much love. It was an art therapy project for us. Yes. Please understand that we practice what we preach every single day. I had too much time on the computer today. So, I had too much time on the computer, and I said, I'm turning off my phone. I'm taking a hike. I went out in nature. I looked at the birds. I came back. I recharged. I came back. I came back a new person. And I may not be able to paddle every moment, but you can take your well shell on a walk and look up at the sky. And if you look up and you swing your arms, you can't be unhappy. I promise you.
Yeah.
And also, it is not even because you mentioned the spiritual approach. It's not even a spiritual approach. It's really a human approach to connect with life, to connect with what's natural for us. It's not about spirituality. It's about connecting with what's natural, with nature, with the textures, with the colors. Engage the senses. This is science will reach to that point, and it did already, but to me it's very heavy to make the changes.
I want to define my definition of spirituality, because I think a lot of people define it as religion, and it's not. It has nothing to do with religion.
Inspired.
Spirituality to me is finding yourself. And I think a lot of times what we as humans do is try to find everybody else besides ourselves.
Yes.
One of the things, I'm a single guy, and when people ask me, well, what are you looking for? And I say, if I tell you, then you're going to try to conform to what I'm asking or what I'm looking for, right?
Yes.
I'd rather have a person be themselves, right? And I be myself. And if there's compatibility in a partner, then we find ourselves in alignment spiritually to be together.
Oh, so beautiful.
And to elevate each other.
Correct.
Wow, Will.
I can't sit there. And this is the problem that we have. A lot of veterans, what we try to appease people. Yeah. Appease yourself. Find peace in yourself. Love yourself. And I promise you that you will do way, way better. Way better.
And I think
it took me years to get to that point, though.
I think that you were in a profession where you were told what to do every single minute. You wake up, you're going to go to boot camp, you're going to fix your bed, you're going to go over here, you're going to go over there. Where did you go? Where did your being in touch with yourself go? No, seriously. And then we live in a world of electronics. Yeah. These electronics, I remember reading 10, 12 years ago that every minute that we spend on a computer per day increases our risk of depression. And so we were like, oh my gosh, don't go on the computer too often because you're going to get depressed. And now what are we doing? We're walking around with computers in our hands.
Yeah.
And if people don't understand how dangerous that is and how that pulls us away from ourselves, I turned my phone off today at 6. I turned my phone off for 48 hours when I went to Palm Springs 2 weeks ago. There's nothing matters more than yourself.
That's why I couldn't get a hold of you.
Nothing matters more. Nothing matters.
Now we know the truth.
Yeah.
And you can't be in touch with yourself when you're concerned about what's going on Instagram.
So I have a question. So in regards of what you guys been doing with the Lido Paddle Project, what are some of the feedbacks you've received so far from first responders and also from veterans? Just kind of curious to know so the audience can know.
It's been nothing but positive and kind of I want more. And when's the next event? And that's why we decided we need to have something that everyone can depend on. So again, we're doing every second and fourth Friday in the Back Bay, every third Friday, if weather permitting, at the ocean in Laguna Beach, and weekly. We're going to start next week every Wednesday with meditations.
Do you mind if I share your contact, your text, the phone number that's in the flyer?
That's fine. You can share the flyer. Absolutely.
The phone number that's on the flyer. I don't have the flyer in front of me right now, but can I share the 949?
949-813-7681 if you want to text to attend one of our sessions. And we'd be delighted to have you, of course.
That's awesome.
We want to do as many as possible.
If you're a veteran out in Southern California, I promise you will have a great time. I promise you. I don't promise many things. You just gotta get out there.
You gotta feel it.
That first step. Just don't feel awkward. Just okay. I'm just gonna go and check it out.
If I'll be there, I'll make you feel awkward.
But you know what? I wanted for you to take us through a relaxing session. You went through something really short, really short, but it hit the right points. And and I think a lot of times what we do is we think of meditation as you got to take a whole half hour to sit there and not think about anything. But when a lot of people don't realize what it takes to meditate, at least for me, my brain starts going like on fire. I mean, everything's coming at me. Everything that is wrong or right or whatever, or my past, future,
shows up. Yes.
Everything pops up. So it's not like you can just do it. So if you could just take us through a couple of steps, we would love that.
Yes. So I don't know about you, but women more often than men, and for me I have a very active mind as well. If you ask me to just sit and meditate, I can never do it. Exactly, everything goes wrong. So the meditation I teach is that actually life is my meditation, but there are just a few things to observe. So what I'm gonna teach you, it's actually very old. It's Taoist, it's shamanic, it's practice for that. It's Tibetans, many different worlds. They just practice the same thing, and it's very simple. Can you remember? Not perhaps you can't remember, but imagine at least. What did humans do when they were hunters? They listened outside, not inside, because all we do is listen to the internal dialogue. Probably you had internal conversation before the show. You're going to have internal conversation after the show inside your head. Everything you do, internal conversation, everything you read about, every minute it's filled up with you listening to the internal dialogue.
Yeah.
And that internal dialogue, it's also the one that is sometimes pulling us down the rabbit hole. All of us. And some of us can have deeper rabbit holes. So if we externalize the listening, like hunters, back to hunters. Imagine you have to listen so that the tiger doesn't eat you.
Yeah.
What happens when you listen to all the sounds close and far away? Externalize, listen outside. When we listen outside, there's nothing going on here naturally. The internal So what happens is your mind and your body rests and relaxes without you trying to stop the thought process. But also, let's do something else. While we're listening outside, everywhere, all the sounds on the street, close to the house, my voice, further, I'm watching also how I feel. I'm watching the feeling. So inverting the senses, watching the feeling, listening to the outside. Immediately, you can feel a little space inside. You see how simple it is? So this simple practice can take you so far. You know how far it will take you? To abilities that you didn't know humans have. Because you will have a conversation with someone, and if you're watching your feelings, something you did as a child, because as children, imagine this, children don't have language yet. And they don't know the world. They only know the world by observing the energy. What someone enters the room, and what do children do? I don't feel safe with this person. I'm gonna cry and scream. We have this ability. Oh, you always loved someone. You see someone, your heart is happy. You're happy with that uncle or auntie or friend of the family came over. So if we go back to this intuition that we had as children, survival instinct, then we will know. And someone is in front of us, whatever they say doesn't matter because we already know the truth. But guess what? Let's say I'm with you and having a conversation and we're friends. And you're telling me, oh, everything is fine, everything is good. But I'm feeling inside me that you feel a little sad. And I just come and give a hug. Or I say, I'm with you. Or whatever it is I feel I need to do. Then I'm already being of service and lifting you up. And as I lift you up, what happens to me? Because I'm lifted up back. Because now you're lifted up. I feel inside of me. This is the new world we're building. By feeling each other. We feel each other like this, and we lift each other in truth. So we're not lost and hijacked by the noise and I call it the flapping,
the chatter. Yeah. So my question is, what is the process, or how can you help someone to lower that chatter in their mind?
So let's do this practice now. Let's do this practice. And I invite you to do it with open eyes. All meditations are led with closed eyes. And I'm the one that I ask people to keep their eyes open. And I myself, actually, all of us have perhaps little moments that something wants to pull us down. And it's something triggers. Could be even a sound. Could be even the sky, the way the sky is. And so I like to give examples with something I experienced. For example, and then the basic steps. I walk one day to the store. I'm just walking, and all of a sudden I feel such pointlessness about life, such depression, such like something is pulling me down. It's like I'm in shifting sands and there is nothing to grab on to make me feel better. And so I thought, okay, so let's do what you're teaching. Whether I was aware of someone behind the houses, or maybe the sky triggered me something from my childhood. Because if you think about this, we are very, very beautiful souls, and we're born with this sensitivity and with this kindness, every child, and the world is not kind to us. The world is not nice. Even the movies that we witness have a lot of violence. We're born in a violent world. And so in a way, there's this abuse to the soul. And something triggers, could be just the way the clouds are, the wind was blowing. And what I did is I was getting lost and down the rabbit hole and down the pointlessness, seeing no reason to live, no reason to anything. I said, okay, I'm going to engage my senses, the whale shells and everything else. Look right now. Notice all the colors, on the screen and around you. There are many nuances of colors, many nuances of light, also shades of the light. Many, at the same time as the nuances, many textures. Sense the textures. Okay, and different sounds. And there is a quality to each moment. There's just a sensation of the moment through the senses, and there's a taste in your mouth, and there's smell, colors, textures. And I noticed the wind blowing the trees, the green, the colors of the leaves was green. Immediately when you engage the senses, you pull back to the now. So
interesting.
That's why, when people are depressed, always you tell them, it's wrong to tell them, oh, look how beautiful life is. You shouldn't think that way. It doesn't work. Because I cannot see beauty in that moment. But I can see nuances, and I can see textures and taste and smell and sensation on my skin. The senses are the thing that brings us back to the present moment. These senses, when we are detached from our senses and lost in the internal dialogue, and sometimes the triggers we're not even aware, how do we go back? Colors, textures, smells, tastes, sounds. We engage in this way with all that's going on around. We're not looking for beauty. We're just looking for the different nuances of everything.
Right.
Can you feel even a little bit how you become more present? This presence is being in the now, that so many people talk about being the now. How, to my mind, means nothing being the now. Okay, I'm in the now where I am. I'm not in the yesterday.
Yeah, seven something. Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt here. So it really makes sense, because when I've noticed when I get into that mode, when I start like the anxiety kicking up and everything like that, there's a disconnection between my brain, the emotion, right, the situation, versus what I'm feeling in myself personally, right? Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. Well, this is a good practices every day. So usually use that.
Yeah. Because look at this, when you go on vacation or somewhere where you haven't been, and you're taken by the beauty of the view.
That's true.
What happens? You will go, oh my God, and you feel inspired. You feel very inspired.
Right.
And why you feel inspired? Because at that moment, the beauty hijacks your senses. It goes, look over there, everywhere. And the mind stops at that moment because you're taken by the beauty. So you can take yourself by the colors and the textures and the tastes and the sensation of the skin.
Right. And that's a great explanation when you said being in the now. So everybody understand that. So if you want to be in the now, this is a great way to use your senses and start just feeling the textures, the smells, wherever you at, and even the taste, if there's a taste, if you're eating gum or something, right? So that takes you back. So that's what I understand what you're saying so far, as far as getting into the present.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see a big difference immediately.
Yeah, definitely. We are a little short in time, but go ahead, Will.
The last thing that I wanted to bring up is you talked about breathing, right? And it was because and this is something that just happened recently. I was engaged with a veteran, and the kids were very, very loud in the background. I don't pay it any mind because kids are gonna be kids, right? But he got very angry and very upset about how the kids were acting, about they have no discipline, yada yada yada.
Yes.
And as veterans, our fuse is very short sometimes, and we forget about life. As a child, you need to play. You need to be loud. You need to be expressive.
But the body is stronger. So this is with the breath. 2 seconds, I'm going to explain it.
Yeah.
When you're stressed, when you're in danger, when you're flight or fight, shallow breath. So we can trick the body.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in this stressed, angry mode. I'm going to take a deep and slow breath all the way down to my belly. And I'm going to tell the body, you're safe. You're safe. And so taking a breath, counting to 6, 7, very slow, nourishing breath, and slowly exhaling. If we do 3 breaths, 4 breaths, everything will change. The chemistry begins to change in the body. The kids won't bother you so much more.
Yeah.
Flight or fight.
They'll probably be quiet at that time. They're gonna be like, "What are you doing?
What is
it?" And they're probably, it worked, you know.
about to freaking explode?
Come to meditations and
yes,
do. And also
absolutely.
we'll be online live, so you can plug in live if you can't come to the beach.
And when you're doing the breath in, you can choose a good word. I'm going to breathe in love. I'm going to breathe out fear.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I do want to add, I started doing the Wim Hof breathing training. I don't know if you guys have heard of Wim Hof. It works, but I am going to add words too. So what you were saying, I'm going to test that out too as well. I take cold showers, so it really helps a lot. Yes.
And when you exhale, you go, whoo, if you're alone in the car. Sometimes something is heavy, breathe it out, breathe it out, breathe it out, breathe it out. There's breath of fire too.
Yeah.
Just maybe follow us on Facebook, and we're gonna have it live on Wednesday. And you can also watch later the meditations.
Well, yeah. So for those that are watching, so we're definitely gonna get with you, you know, get this schedule down so we can actually share it to our community. Definitely I'll be there. You know,
here's the number again in case they wanna text them and
follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and the meditations will be posted there as well.
If you guys are watching, it's on the description. Yeah. So I have a question for you guys. So I always ask this question, regardless who comes into the show. So for you, the question is going to be different. But have you had a chance to eat MREs? Meal ready to eat, military foods, food?
No.
No. Okay.
No,
So now we know Will is gonna bring some next time. I don't know. So we always ask our guests, you know.
MRE right here, meal ready to eat.
Okay.
Bro, that's not healthy. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's not healthy. I don't think. Let's not do that, you know. But anyways,
it's important to make bread together.
Yes.
Okay, I have to ask though. Do you eat meat? Yes.
Do we eat meat?
Do you meat? Not often. Yeah, on occasion. Is it meat?
Okay, there's meat in some of them, but they're all. I just gotta ask because there are vegetarian ones out there.
Yeah.
You know, but I have 3. I have to get out there.
I actually start. I'm lowering my consumption of meat because my doctor told me, VA doctor said I have rheumatoid, so inflammatory. So I gotta be careful how much meat I eat. So gotta lower that. But anyways, moving forward. So for you guys who've been watching, again, we're going to be sharing, you know, the schedule. So you guys come down. I'll let you, you know, we'll make an announcement. Will and I will head over there. So looking forward to meet with you guys. If you guys have been watching, you know, and connect with you guys. Other than that, you know, thank you so much, Michelle, Evelina. Thank you so much for being on the show, for showing us, showing us what you guys are doing. And
thank you for being yourselves and to turning the discussion to wellness.
Absolutely. I'm always looking for, you know, alternative modalities, right, to better, you know, myself and my family and my friends.
State of mind.
Yes. But definitely. But I'm super excited to meet you guys in person. Yeah. Yeah. We're looking forward to meeting you guys in person. And for you guys who have been watching, thank you so much. Now, I highly recommend you guys to go ahead and share this video, like this video, and subscribe to our channel at 10hutshow.org. Until next time. All right, guys. Take care.
Show.